Okay, this is very exciting. The Stone Age gamers are now going to play through Final Fantasy IV, or as it's known in the US for a time, 2. Okay, so what I was thinking is you could do the honors of playing, and I could look up trivia, facts, and secrets about the game. Wow. So this is one that I never played.
What?
No. Let me correct myself.
Early.
I played it years later. I never played it on the Super Nintendo. I don't think you guys had it at that point.
No, we rented it.
Oh.
We never owned it.
You had 3, but you didn't have 2, but you played through it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. This game actually has one of my favorite Final Fantasy songs, which this one is pretty great, too. But the overworld theme, when it gets to it, oh, man. It's so good.
Captain Sissel. Talkie.
Yeah, so this is what Brendan does. He skips through the talkie. Which, you know, now, as an adult, this dialogue is so simple that you almost have to be a child to get the proper response from it.
Yep. I still remember having a very emotional response.
Oh, for sure.
To Final Fantasy VI, the opera scene.
Oh, the opera scene.
I still know that.
That was like
Sequence of words you have to say and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to look it up or read the book or anything.
that was just such a. It was a revelation. You know what I mean?
Emotions in song, man.
In a game. You know, like that sequence, that opera was like an hour of the game. Like you go through a whole opera sequence. The music has like follows the same opera structure.
Yeah, a good chunk of the game. Because all the battle scenes and everything are to like epic
Yep.
opera music. The fight with Ultros.
Yeah.
One
Okay,
of
well,
the many.
let's save this for Final Fantasy 3 talk.
Touche.
For Final Fantasy 2, I have a question. What did you call Cecil when you were a kid? Did you guys have a specific way of pronouncing that, or did you just say Cecil?
I think we always said Cecil.
Cecil. Because that's a big thing. Back in the day, there was no internet, so there was no agreed upon our pronunciation.
That's true.
So you had things like, we would call him Rue, not even Ryu, and you guys called him Ryu.
Yeah.
And like, there was Guile. I remember somebody called him Geel. You're like, that is definitely Guile.
Agreed.
Did you know anybody who called him Geel?
That actually rings a bell, but I don't remember who it would have been. I remember assuming that you guys had the right pronunciation for Ryu because you were Asian.
Yeah. I think everybody assumed that.
Oh. So I actually started calling him Ryu after that.
But now we know years later that it's Ryu.
Ryu.
Ryu. Funny note about that. Oh, what was I gonna say? Crap, forgot. Man. So this game has been re-released multiple times. When I played it, I actually played it on the Game Boy Advance.
Really?
They made a Game Boy Advance version of this. In fact, I gave you a Game Boy Advance with my copy of this game. Do you remember that?
To borrow or to have?
To have. It was a silver GBA SP. It looked like a little ice cream bar.
Oh, yeah.
And it had this game.
I do
After
remember
I
that.
finished it, I didn't want it anymore, and I had upgraded my Game Boy Advance.
Oh, that's right. I remember that now.
So that's how I played it. In fact, I played it while I was in Japan for study abroad. And I remember I'd go to basketball practice, and on the way home on the subway, I'd just be sweating, just covered in sweat. But I would have my Game Boy Advance right here playing this game, and it was like so satisfying.
That's awesome.
But this game, when you played it with Mike, was it kind of like he was still the main driver and you were mostly just watching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely. I didn't start playing any RPGs myself until probably Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah.
That's not true. One that I started playing, which I don't think you played, was the Lufia games.
Oh, Lufia, yeah. Those were great. I played them with you. I never had them.
Those are still some of my favorites, probably because of like really good memories with Mike.
Mm-hmm.
That's one I still want to get again. I had both of them for a time.
So, interesting note about Lufia, which is that just recently, some new unopened copies were found and were sold on eBay.
Really?
Lufia, yeah.
How much?
Oh, they were really expensive, like $250 or something like that. Which actually, for a sealed Super Nintendo game,
It's not that bad.
they go like for a lot more. So for a lot of people, actually, this was the first Final Fantasy that really like introduced them to Final Fantasy, and they had the most nostalgia for. But for us, it's definitely Final Fantasy 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. God, that's such a good game.
I thought there's no run button in this.
Oh.
I thought I remember.
So the story so far is that.
I just did something terrible in the name of the king,
Uh-huh.
and I gave him what he wanted me to give him, and now I said, get the here and go kill small people, because he's a bad person. Been corrupted by the dark side.
So, obviously Cecil's having an inner conflict about following orders and doing something that he doesn't believe in.
Yes. Because even though he's a Dark Knight, he's not a bad guy.
Yeah, I always thought that was funny. I was like, he's a dark knight, and that's supposed to be like, oh yeah, he's dark arts. But he's a good guy.
And his character looks terrifying as a
Yeah.
bad guy. Good.
No, I can't remember. So Kane is his best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of like counsels him on this and everything.
The Dragoon.
Does he end up being a bad guy?
Yeah, it ends up taking control of him, just like he did Cecil. And
Oh, the bad guy does.
Golbez, or
Oh, right, yeah.
is that from a different game?
It's one of these games, but Golbez sounds right. So, well, we'll just see how it plays out, I suppose.
Well, if you want, I mean, I know all the answers.
No, that's okay. We don't want to spoil it. Okay, so, but here I feel like you go to your tower and you go to sleep. Oh, yeah. But Sid shows up. So, as anybody who's played a Final Fantasy most likely knows, Sid shows up.
In every game.
Yeah. In fact, in Final Fantasy 15, he's a beautiful woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Super smoking hot.
Oh, I think they called her Cindy instead of Sid. But they should have called her Sydney and spelled it C-I-D.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
No, I thought that was weird.
That's a slang term for drug. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Sydney
What type of drug?
acid.
Oh. Okay. So. Yeah, if my memory serves. I played the beginning of this game quite a few times, actually. Because this game was also re-released on the PlayStation 1, which I'm sure you played through a time or two.
Yeah, on the
Final
Chronicles.
Fantasy Chronicles 1.
Of course.
That came with this and Chrono Trigger.
Yep. Two amazing games.
So they also made another port of this for the Nintendo DS, which is actually a 3D port. It's pretty cool, actually.
I haven't played any of those yet.
And they also remade it for the PlayStation Portable.
Oh,
That was 2D, but sported enhanced graphics. Which I think you played through the After Years and...
Mhm.
Yep, yeah.
I don't think I finished all of them though. There was one that was impossibly difficult.
Mm.
I only had 2 characters, and one of them was the old man, like wizard guy. And he just sucked. He was the main character.
It's like Strago. No, that's Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah, it's actually the bad guy, I think.
Hmm.
You get control of like one of the bad. Yeah. Golbez as like an old man or something. I don't know, maybe not.
Mm. So, one of the first things that attracted me to Final Fantasy was the incredible music. This game, and most of them were composed by a Japanese dude named Nobuo Uematsu. And this game has a awesome soundtrack. That song we were just listening to is called The Theme of Love. This song right here is the main theme of Final Fantasy. Doesn't appear in every game. Maybe in the credits it does. But it appears in a lot of them. Oh man, that is... I love pixel art, dude. Look at that. Those mountains are just white dots, light blue dots, and dark blue dots.
Yep.
And it gives you that feeling of like, oh yeah, there's
The epic
a
mist.
land, yeah.
Yep.
So actually, there was a really long gap between Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy XII. And by the time Final Fantasy XII finally came out, there was such a hunger for Final Fantasies. Like, God, we haven't had a new Final Fantasy in so long. Kind of like right now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And when it finally released, like I remember on message boards, people were just like, the main title screen of that game has this song playing on it. And like when people found that out, just everybody was like going crazy, like, oh my God, the main theme is back. Final Fantasy is back.
I loved Final Fantasy 12.
It was a great moment, man.
I remember when 10 was released. We about crapped ourselves in high school.
Oh my God. It was funny because I didn't have a PlayStation 2 yet at that point.
I know, I sold you mine.
Yeah.
I could go to prom.
Yeah. Doesn't that just say it all? Well, you guys don't know us. But that says it all right there. But I remember I saw you in the hallway or something, and then you said, I got Final Fantasy, and I was like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, I got the manual. I've been reading it all day.
Yep.
And I
brought it
came
to school.
And it was funny because you were living in your own apartment at that time.
It was at that. I was actually with my mom, but she was gone a lot. At that one, I did have my own apartment shortly thereafter.
But I remember coming to that apartment and we played Final Fantasy X. Oh man, I remember like the opening. It was like the beach and like.
I had no idea you liked Lindsay then. I was already dating her at that time.
Oh, you dog.
I paid for it though. That night that you came over to do video games for the first time on Final Fantasy X or on PlayStation 2, I got violently ill after you left. I had a date that night with Lindsay.
Oh.
We went to like Forbidden City and got the poo-poo platter. And
Actual poo-poo platter?
It was like the appetizer sampler thing.
Oh,
That's what they called it.
that's what a poo-poo platter is?
Yeah, I guess.
I was
Had a
wondering
tiny
about that.
hibachi and little skewers of meat and some other stuff.
Oh, you
But it
guys
was-
dealing with that raw meat at the
Yeah.
Forbidden City.
No, it wasn't raw. It was pre-cooked, but it was bad, I guess.
Oh.
I lost like 12 pounds in 24 hours.
Holy crap.
It was horrible. The worst ever. It was like just violent vomiting and diarrhea at the same time.
Wow.
It was terrible. My mom took me to the ER.
Yeah. That'd be a good reason to go.
They gave me a bunch of like anti-nausea and just pumped me full of saline.
And I probably lost so much fluid at that point.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay. So,
Now I gotta go deliver a bomb and murder an entire innocent village.
No, I've heard that this game, the US version, is actually slightly easier than the Japanese version.
Stupid Americans.
I'm gonna confirm that because I'm not sure if that's true or not.
Probably. Americans are morons.
Okay.
Not all of us are morons. Sorry, viewers. Speaking mostly of anyone who likes Trump.
The fact that Trump exists kind of
It's a downer.
proves that we are morons. Okay. Oh, crap.
What'd you do?
I looked at Final Fantasy 2, but it's showing me the real Final Fantasy 2. I need to look up Final Fantasy.
Well, just the fact that
4.
they didn't think we could count, I think proves that they thought we were morons.
Well, the rationale was that they skipped Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy 2 and 3.
Right, but what about... Goes from 3 to 7 in the US?
Yeah, but then after that, they're like, okay, well, enough people know that there exist Japanese games. So they could just be like, okay, well, they could know that this is the 7th game in the series, just not all of them came.
I remember
in the
feeling
US.
so f***ing gypped as an American kid because I love Final Fantasy so much.
Yeah.
Just went 3 to 7. Mother. Some of us are smart enough to play these games, damn it. Oh man. I forgot to get supplies. I'm gonna go back.
Oh yeah, definitely need that.
Weapons and armor and stuff.
Well, total, between all the different remakes, the game has sold more than 4 million copies worldwide.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Wonder how many for Final Fantasy 6.
Oh, good question. Oh, so interesting. This was going to be developed, or it was in development for the NES. But then they decided to move it up to the Super Nintendo. Oh, the NES version was approximately 80% complete. And then certain ideas were reused for the SNES version.
The real Final Fantasy 2 is pretty cool. There's a hack to if you like go to attack all the way and then back out once, and then attack and back and forth, it counts as striking. And you can level up your attacks in that game, each weapon type.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just like do all the levels in like 5 battles if you wanted to.
Wow.
Attack, back up, attack, back up, attack, back up. So every time I would battle, I'd do like 10 attacks per person every time. And you'd end up doing like 16 hit combos like really early in the game.
Whoa. I've never played that one, actually.
It's, man, what? What's wrong with you?
A lot of things.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Until you load. Oh, here. No bitches.
Oh, so this is the first time they used the active time battle system, which is those bars.
You can put it on weight though. I remember doing that when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
I was like, sissy girl. I guess we can't buy anything yet. Probably good, but can't. Just got a couple extra battles in.
Oh, this song.
Reminds me of the other Overworld
Yeah.
songs.
I'd love the overworld music for these games.
I think my favorite music was in Final Fantasy 6. I love all.
Oh, yeah. I think that's my favorite, too. Actually, I really didn't like the music of Final Fantasy VII when it first came out. It had to become nostalgic before I started liking it, really. Uh-huh. I think it's because it just wasn't quite as amazing as Final Fantasy VI was. So it was kind of like it was subtly tainted. And through no fault of its own, it was just compared to Final Fantasy VI.
That's true. There's no comparison. This will be the first time I've gotten hit in like 10 battles.
Okay, yeah. The English localization, Final Fantasy IV, retains the storyline, graphics, and sound of the original, but the developer significantly reduced the difficulty.
Why?
Which means we might not want to be playing this version.
I haven't gotten hit yet.
Okay, then yeah, we might not want to play this version.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll just keep going.
I don't want to start up now. Start over now. It'll just be real easy.
Oh, fine. That's a good warm-up.
Yeah.
We're going to play through all of them.
Turn into a speed trial.
Especially if we have to... Not have to. But if we decide to try to take down any weapons, it can take a little leveling.
All the leveling.
Literally.
And
I don't know, a lot of preparation.
we could just skip to my save on that one.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Can you hook up the PSP Go to your TV?